The NSE All-Share Index continued its bullish run to close yesterday's trading section at to close by 2.18%. That's quite impressive too. And the index is currently at 41,147.39. Now, this is a region that I am very, very particular about. And in my previous videos, I've already um, explained the fact that once the index gets to this region, I'll start cutting down my portfolio. Yes, there's still room for the market to go up with what we're seeing right now, and as investors take position ahead of year-end results and dividends. But one thing is very certain, like I say, the index is actually an overbought region. Now, overbought isn't an exact price, just the way I explained resistance and support is a region. So once the index is an overbought region, it tells you that any moment from now, the index might be going down. Now, I'm not definite as to the time period because we are seeing FOMO right now, fear of missing out. A lot of people will start buying into stock because of last year's performance. So people want to start jumping into the market without understanding where the index is right now. So NSE index is an overbought region, and like I said, that it doesn't mean that the index is going to pull back immediately. We're still going to see a bit of um, appreciation and more buying interest. But note something: we are at overbought region right now, so a pullback it's definitely imminent, and I see that happening in 1 month or two, max 3 months. I don't think it will even get to 3 months. So if you're buying into stock right now, my candid advice is do not expect a huge run. Cut down your profit target. So if you've been aiming at 50%, 60% profit target, right now it's best to stick to a modest return of 15, 20, 25%. Now that also depends on the sector you're actually buying your stock. I in my previous video I already mentioned the top two sectors that I will be buying most of my stock because I believe that the index this sector still has a lot of upside run, and coupled with the fact that these are sectors that would likely benefit more from government policies and then CBN monetary policies direction. So that's the consumer sector index and then the banking sector index. That's the sector I feel I'll be buying most of my stock. And I think this year these are the two sectors that would definitely do well. So that's my prediction for 2021. So right now, I want to show you where this index will likely find a support, a resistance, and then where you should begin to and how you should trade the index at that time. So this is the daily chart of NSC. Now let me quickly take out this um Fibonacci level here. This is the daily chart of NSC. You notice how the index has moved up successively. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 days. So after the breakout, you see how the index has moved up from 39 up to 41,000 basis points. So, and look at how the moving averages are actually lined up in sequence. So that's a strong bullish run. This is a very strong bullish run. And the index is currently trading at the upper section of the band. Even sometimes it trades outside the band. You can see that it's actually outside the band right now. So this is like an overstretched movement. So I think for me, I would want to be very cautious at this point, and I also want to ensure that I don't buy into a stock that is extremely overbought. So this is the daily chart. Now you could see again that the relative strength index is at overbought region, currently at 90.56. So going by previous run, you notice how the index moved up to 95 before it pulled back, and then we had the other run that's up to the same 94. So then the index pulled back. So while the index is at 90, I'm projecting that it's going to find support at the same region, which is 93, 94, 95. So the moment RSI gets to that region, expect a sharp pullback. So that is what you should note right now. So if you're buying into a stock, just have this at the back of your mind that the index is getting close to pullback. Now the question is, once the index pull back on daily charts, does that automatically mark the beginning of a bear market? That's another question we would like to answer right here. Now this is a daily chart. Daily chart is what I use to um, time my entry into the market and then my exit, because I'm a short-term trader, I'm a swing trader, and then I'm a momentum trader. So I'm not a value investor that buy into a stock that is undervalued and then I wait forever till it gets to my estimated fair value. I buy into a momentum stock that's going up and then set my profit target. Once I hit my target, I'm out of the market. So I look at the support, I look at the resistance, I buy at the support region where supply is exhausted, and then while waiting for demand to eventually move the price up. So that's exactly how I trade. So this is what um, the daily chart helps me to do. Now, also look at the MACD too. So the MACD has been stretched for a long time. This is it. So each of these bars represent the daily performance, the MACD. So you can see why the buyers are still in charge. I feel that this is an overstretched market. He's already in overbought region. So anywhere from now, expect a pullback. So back to our question, once the market pull back, does that automatically mark the end of the bull market? So let's quickly look at the NSE All-Share Index on a higher time frame. So why the daily chart help us to time our entry and exit into the market, we look at the higher time frame to understand the trend. So because in an overall bull market, the market will always go up and down. Like you see here, up, down, up, down, up. So we don't expect the market to move successfully. So successively. So why the market actually pulled back here, a lot of investors started selling. They were thinking, oh, we're in a bear market, but I still maintain the fact that we are still in a bull market, and the market did reverse back, reverse to the upside. So when the market pull back, it does not automatically means that you're actually at the end of a bull market. You need to look at your higher time frame. It's your higher time frame that will tell you that, oh, we are still in a bull market, or we are actually in a bear market. So you need to understand the cycle that we are. The NSE All-Share Index, just like any other index in the stock market, actually moves the cycle. We have the bull market, the bear, the bull, the bear, the bull. So at what cycle are you, or what cycle are you currently in? That's exactly what determines how to trade the market. So let's quickly look at the NSE All Share Index on the monthly chart. So I like to look at the index on the monthly chart. That has always been one of my um, um, key tool uh, for gauging the cycle that we are. I don't use it to time entry and exit. I use it to know whether we're in a bull market or the bear market. Just like we had here, we have the up, down, up, down, up. So this is the bull that we actually experienced last year. Now, when you look at the monthly chart, you notice that the RSI is at 71.9. So let's go with the previous trend. Now, look at the point where RSI actually got to 76. That's where the market uh, moved to before it actually started reversing. So that's 44,000. That's 44,419. So that's exactly this region. So look at the RSI right now. RSI is at 71. Now you would agree with me that the NSE All Share Index is actually in an overbought region right now. So that's 71.19. But does that mean the market is going to pull back immediately? No, the market is not going to pull back immediately. So going by previous trends, I feel that the key resistance awaiting this index is the 44,000. So resistance, it's not an exact price, it's a region. So the region between 40 to 44. That's so right now the market is trading within the overbought region. So the moment the market crossed 40,000, that is when I started looking at the NSE All-Share Index on a daily basis, because I want to be sure that I'm not caught up in the bear market. It is certain that the bear market is coming. So you can't beat that. It's a normal thing in the stock market. So just be mindful of this particular um region, 44,000 basis points. So that's a key resistance you need to watch out for right now. Now, does it mean the market is going to pull back immediately when it gets to that region? That I do not know. But just take note of this region, because by previous run from 2014, we had a run to 42,000. Then from that 2014 down to 2017, that's like 2 or 3 years plus, the market moved down to 24,000. Then we had another bull again to 44,000. You can see, which is the same 40 to 44,000 region. So now the market is actually trading within that same region. So NSE All-Share Index is actually overbought right now, but it does not mean that we are actually we are back to the bear market. We will still experience more bull at this stage. Besides, this is the peak of the bull right now. So for you that are actually looking at buying into the stock market and then expecting your stock to move up by 20, 50, 20, 30%, you need to be very careful. You need to ensure that you're not buying into a stock that is actually at overbought region like the NSC. So that's why I pay a lot of attention to my MACD. I don't want to buy when the MACD is extremely overbought. So I want to buy when the MACD is showing the fresh crossover so that I can join the begin. I can actually take part or start buying stock at the beginning of the trend. Just like I did when this MACD showed a fresh crossover. So I started buying aggressively when NSA index was around 24,000. So you can imagine the movement between 24,000 to 41,000. So I've made a lot of money in the stock market in 2020 with this strategy. So but right now, I'm being watchful. I want to ensure that I'm not buying two stocks that are overbought. So that's why I had to share the previous video with you, just for you to see the sectors that I will likely be trading or buying most of my stocks. And one of the sectors, like I said, it's the um, NSC consumer goods sector. So if you look at NSE consumer goods sector, you see that we still have a lot of room, we still have a lot of upside potential on this index. So that's the consumer sector where you have likes of flour mill, NASCOM, Dangote Cement, Nestle, and all that. So I feel the consumer goods sector is going to benefit from government policy this year. So and my projection is that the index should be going to 1,000 basis points. So that's after the index clears this region, because right now the index is going to find support at this region. So look at the previous um, trend. So we had a downside to this section, then the market recovered a little bit. Downside, the market recovered. So the point where the market recovered twice, which is this section. So you can see this section here. Here, market pull back to this section, recovered, then pull back again to the same region, then recovered. So this is a critical point. Now you can see when the market pulled back from this high price here, it moved up again, found resistance at the same region, which was previous support, then eventually went down to 332. So from there, the market has appreciated back to this same region. So the moment the market clears this region, I expect a bigger move back to 1,000 basis points. So that's exactly how I'm going to trade the NSE consumer goods sector. So, and I have key stocks that I'm watching in this sector. So just take note of that. So that sector I feel will likely do well this year. Then another sector that I also mentioned in my previous video is the I think the NSC banking index too. So the banking index is also going to do well. Now, if you look at it, you still have a fresh crossover, the RSI, the MACD, and then the RSI is also showing a rising trend, which is around 58. So it's not even an overbought region yet. Look at the previous run that we had before, how the index moved up to 81. So I think the banking sector is one to watch. And going by previous trend, I also see the banking sector hitting the previous resistance of 593. So that's I'm just looking at the sectors that are going to benefit from government policy. And if you try to check other sectors like the NSC Insurance Index, so look at the insurance index on charts. The Sorry, let's wait for the chart to load. Okay, look at the insurance index. You see that the insurance index is overbought right now. So NSE RSI is the RSI is 73, which is overbought region, and you can see how stretched was it the how far it has moved, and you can see that it's already overextended. So a key resistance awaits the index at 2003 91 before a pullback. So if you're buying into insurance stocks, you know, so why you need to pay attention to the indexes, because that's the it gives you idea of what investors are doing in that sector. Because if you don't understand the banking sector, you don't understand the consumer sector, the industrial sector, oil and gas, you might just be gambling. So, but when you understand what is happening in that sector, going by the charts from what I show you here, and then the policies that are driving stocks or driving investment decision or driving business performance, you're able to take accurate investment decision that will help you move your portfolio. So I already gave you a tip on how to know whether the sector is overbought, oversold. Now, when I say a sector is overbought, oversold, it doesn't mean stocks in that sector will not go up, but do not expect majority of the company to go up. So you need to pay attention to the few that are driving the sector. But you are also exposing your portfolio to a risk, because investors have actually bought into a sector for a long time. It's possible that they are going to be taking profit. So it's best to buy into a sector that still has upside potential and then limited downside risk. And I've mentioned the two sectors that you should focus on. And in on my blog, nigerianstockstobuy.com, I've also mentioned the three key sectors that I feel you should buy. Three key stocks, sorry, that are ripe for bigger move this year, that I think are going to drive NSE All-Share Index this year. So, and that's my pick for the year. Though I'll be sharing some stocks that will likely go up, like for swing traders. But my pick for the year is actually on the blog, which is nigerianstockstobuy.com. Now we've locked the blog and then decided to make it premium. So which means going forward, most of the stocks that I'll be sharing will be locked for members. Now the reason is that we actually had a meeting. I am my team member, and then we just want to give you the best. Most of the tools you see us use to analyze stock are paid for, and we pay top dollars for these tools. And we feel that anyone that finds value in our analysis, anyone that's actually profited from most of the stock pick, should also help in pushing the blog and ensuring that we also save costs. So that's why we had to lock it up. Although we've had paid members on our blog before now, but we decided to give it a shot this year and ensure that these guys actually get better value for money, and then it won't be fair for them to get the same value as people that are actually visiting without paying or subscribing for our service. Now, it doesn't mean that every content on the blog will be paid for, will only be available for paid members. Like this that I've just analyzed right now, this is a free content that you're going to find on the blog too. So, but when it comes to selective stock picks, like three stocks to buy, two stocks to buy, those are kind of content that will only be available for premium members. So I would appreciate, I also urge you to subscribe, and then you can either go for the 6 months or 1 year plan, depending. But one thing is very, very sure, you will definitely get more than your investment. It's an investment. At least if you go by the previous recommendations on my blog and most of the stocks I've mentioned so far, you will see that at least 90% of these stocks to deliver from the entry price up to the exit price. Some of them even go past my exit price. But like I always say, have a modest exit target. Don't be too greedy, because nobody can actually predict the exact top of a stock. So I'll be sharing more information on this next time. But if you have a question, feel free to use the comment section. I'll be waiting for you and then to take your questions. Thank you.